Welcome, y'all, to another edition of Rob the Handyman. If you remember in our last episode, I was explaining to you a problem that I faced. When our house was built, projection TVs were built into an area on the wall instead of being mounted on the flat part of the wall. Well, we want to replace our TV, and it turns out that that inset is a full 9 inches. So we mounted that TV and we put her up there, and what do we find? Can't turn her in any direction. She hits the wall. So the idea was we would take a 2x4, stack a couple of them together, mount these against the wall in that inset, then screw the mount on, and we'd be all set. Well, I didn't measure right, because what it turns out is two 2x4s are only 3 inches deep. 3 inches isn't enough to give that mount room to tilt and move around. So we're gonna have to cut these 18-inch sections of 2x4 in half and stack 4, and that'll give us about 8 inches, just enough to allow some more direction on that TV mount. Now, before we start, a couple of things. I'm sitting here in the bed of my F-250. Ford trucks are the best. Have my Line-X from Sarasota Line-X. Hope you'll give them a try, give them a call. When I was considering how to split this wood, obviously we've got a full garage here of tools. The first idea was use my Fisker X25 axe, purchased at Lowe's Home Improvement. You know, my grandpappy, this is all he had when he was building furniture for our home, the homestead. But it's a little rough for the type of cuts that I'm trying to make. So I went for another option. I purchased myself a 15-inch Craftsman 8 teeth per inch saw. This was great when I was only making 4 cuts. Unfortunately, I need to make a lot more. So what am I going to do? Well, so happens that sitting right here on the bed of this Ford F-250 is a Ryobi 10-inch table saw. This is going to make our cuts a whole lot easier. The difference is it can be dangerous. So let's start with safety. Before anything happens, I'm going to put on my Popular Mechanics safety goggles, purchased at Lowe's Home Improvement Center, and my Blue Hawk gloves, leather palm. I find that when I'm working with any kind of electric saw, I like a heavier leather glove. That way, if I should slip and lose a digit or two, I can be assured that that digit will stay intact in the glove, so that when we get to the hospital, it makes it a lot easier to sew it back on. So I'm going to pause for a minute, put on my safety equipment, and we'll get right back to this. Okay, well, I've got my Popular Mechanics safety goggles on. I have my Gray Hawk extra heavy duty leather gloves on. Remember, what we're going to do here is I've got 5 pieces of 2x4, 18 inches in length. I need to cut them in half. So as you can see, I've marked them with a pencil line at the halfway point. And we're going to use our Ryobi table saw here, set up in the back of our Ford F-250, the best trucks on the road. I'll get the first one started, and then I'll zoom you ahead and show you what the product looks like at the end. So just bear with me. Whenever I'm working with anything that requires power, I plug the extension cord in first. And then I get all of my equipment ready, and then I twist the 2 cords together and then plug them in. I don't want any potential accidents. If this table saw is getting power, I run the risk of, if I hit the wrong button, that thing could start cutting when I'm not ready. So there you go. Now we're ready. So I'm going to line up my first piece of wood here. I've got my blade set, right depth, right angle, and I'm going to turn it on and we'll get started. So as you can see, using our Ryobi table saw set up in the back of our Ford 250 here, and purchased all my equipment at Lowe's Home Improvement, we've already been able to make one quick cut, taking that 18-inch piece, made two 9-inch blocks. I'm gonna do the rest, and then we'll be back. Okay, so we've now completed all the cuts on our Ryobi 10-inch table saw. Again, I'm working in the bed of our Ford F-250 with Line-X from Line-X of Sarasota. I want to show you how this went. As you can see, we now have a bunch of 9-inch blocks that we're going to build out with. And if I could just get this thumb to work here a little bit, you'll see that what we're going to do is stick like that, and I think we'll probably need to do 4 or more. I'm not sure that I can hold 4 right now. But there you go. So we'll do that, screw them all together, mount that to the wall, and put the TV mount in. I want to thank you for tuning in once again to Rob the Handyman Show. The next episode, we'll talk about how the TV was finally mounted, and I hope you all have a great week. Thanks for tuning in. All right, guys, quick, somebody's got to get me to the ER. I got to get these fingers sewn back on.